welcome back to Pseudo Gameplay TV for another character analysis. Today we will be having a look at the mighty Thor of Asgard. Now real quick before we jump into his background, his abilities, and his gameplay, I did want to thank you for your support of this series. It's by far been the most successful series that I've been doing so far on my channel, and I wanted to offer a little bit of a thank you. So if we are able to reach 50 subscribers by the end of the year, or before December 31st of 2019, then I would like to do a subscriber giveaway. So it's really simple. All you'll need to do is be subscribed, and when I announce that giveaway in a future video, I will give you the details of what you need to do there. But let's make that happen so I can express my gratitude to your support for this series. Now, jumping into the character analysis that we have today, Thor Odinson is one of the long-standing members of the Avengers team. His first appearance in the comics was in August of 1962, so he's been around for quite a long time, and there's a reason that he's a fan favorite, as he has a lot of really cool abilities, most of which are actually tied canonically to this hammer, Mjolnir. Now, the abilities that he gains through the use or wielding of Mjolnir are dimensional transportation in form of the Bifrost connection bridge, as well as electric manipulation, flight, and weather manipulation. So lots of really cool things that he can gain from that hammer. Additionally, because he is of Asgard and has a very unique physiology, he also has superhuman strength, speed, durability, and longevity. And a lot of those things are played into his character as a whole, but primarily his attack prowess through the use of Mjolnir is what's showcased most here in this game. So his abilities, in terms of what he can do or what he brings to the table, is his first one is the Thunder Strike, where he extends Mjolnir to release a surge of lightning, and this is just kind of a directly in front of him type of attack that certainly has some benefits there as well, and it does have a shock attribute, as most of his attacks do. His second attack, the Mjolnir's Might, empowers Mjolnir with electricity and sends the character rushing forward, and this is something that you can hold down the button as you aim it into kind of a direction and then release the button in order to fully take advantage of it. The third attack that he has access to is the Hammer Hurl, where Mjolnir again is empowered, which when the character throws Mjolnir in a radial path which strikes enemies in the area, so kind of an area of effect type attack with a shock attribute attached to that as well. His fourth and final ability, the Stormbringer, is where Mjolnir is charged, and then Thor leaps up into the air and rains a series of lightning strikes downward, so a little bit more of an area of effect type attack on this one as well. So lots of different attacks that he has attributed to the use of Mjolnir, but all in all, he's quite a fun and powerful character to use. Now, the team that we have set up today maximizes most of Thor's synergies that he has. There was one that I was unable to use, that being the family values, as that should be unlocked with Loki, who I'm working on getting unlocked for a future character analysis video. But let's go ahead and jump into an Infinity Rift and showcase what Thor plays like and whether or not he's a worthy addition to your team. Alright, so right off the bat, we do need to showcase that Thor does have a flight attribute, and that is activated by the use of his double jump, so which will allow him to propel himself into the air. His medium attacks is a 3-hit combo, where he will strike twice, and then the third hit he slams the hammer down onto the ground, which it's important to note that this combo does have knockdown at the end of it. Now, another attack that has quite a bit of use to it is his heavy, where he will throw Mjolnir in a straight line in front of him. And this does some pretty decent damage against opponents that have stagger bars. And it can even be influenced slightly as you wind up the hammer. You can then turn it around and go forwards, or slightly change the direction of it. His final attack, in terms of base attacks, which we did showcase a moment ago, is his aerial, where he will slam downwards onto the ground and create an area of knockback around him. Now, in terms of his standard attacks, we first have the Thunder Strike, where this is an attack that has a bit of a lingering hitbox out in front of him, which is important to keep in mind, as it can clean up a group of opponents kind of nicely. It does keep in mind that it does not last if you continue to hold the button. All you need to do is press it, and then you can release it from that point. His second attack, Mjolnir's Might, this is one that you do need to hold in order to charge up, but it will then send the character rocketing forward and crashing through any enemies that happen to be in his way. It applies very significant damage to the enemy stagger bar, as does a lot of the attacks that he showcases with his hammer. And it can actually be used as a good method of making your way across the battlefield, or if you do have the time to charge it up, getting out of a cluster of enemies if you happen to find yourself surrounded. His third attack, the Hammer Hurl, will bring the hammer around him in a circle. And this is one that, again, you don't need to charge it, but it does have some startup time to it. So keep that in mind as you look to use it. This may be a little more useful in terms of clearing out enemies if you happen to find yourself surrounded or overwhelmed. His fourth and final attack, the Stormbringer, is a very useful attack as well. It will bring him up out of the air. Actually, no, it won't, if I don't have the mana for it. So let's regain some of that, hit a couple of people. So we can showcase this. Alright, now, the Stormbringer attack. He will rise up into the air. And it brings a lightning crash down kind of directly in front of him in terms of any of the enemies that it would affect or impact. Now, in terms of his ultimate attack, let's find a group of enemies that we can unleash this on.
Feel my thunder.
This involves a upwards lightning strike, and then he crashes down into the ground with the empowered hammer, which is very useful for knocking out a large group of enemies, especially if they've got stagger bars, because it will deplete those quite nice as well. And it does have a bit of a lingering hitbox on it, which is important to keep in mind. Alright, let's see if we can clean this up a bit. And that's going to clear out that trial. So Thor's a very heavy-hitting character with both melee and some ranged capabilities. So he's a good mix-up to your team build-up and composition. So thanks again for watching and for your support. I really enjoy making this series, and I'm glad that you're enjoying it as well. Feel free to hit that subscribe button and contribute towards the goal that we have of hitting 50 subscribers by the end of the year. That way I can provide a subscriber giveaway and give back to you who have been supporting me. We will be back on Monday for another character analysis. This go around, it will be Venom. But I will have videos coming out daily in between now and then, so keep an eye out for any of those videos that come your way. Thanks again for watching. You have a fantastic rest of your day.